And so we begin right now at 4 with some new details from the medical examiner about how Rob and Michele Reiner died. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Colleen Williams.
And I'm Carolyn Johnson. Michael Brownlee is off. That preliminary report reveals both Rob and Michele died from multiple sharp force injuries. It comes just hours after their son Nick made his first court appearance charged in their murders.
We are continuing our live team coverage right now. Camilla Rambaldi is live in Brentwood with new reaction from the Reiners' other children and friends. But first, we're going to go to NBC4's Alex Rozier, live from downtown L.A. with what we learned in the hearing there today. Alex.
Colleen and Carolyn, Nick Reiner only said 3 words during his hearing this morning: "Yes, Your Honor." And that's when he gave the okay to push back his arraignment until January. The judge today said that the press cannot shoot any video of Mr. Reiner, but this is the first time that we did see him since he was arrested and charged for his parents' murders. With his hands in shackles, wearing a blue suicide prevention gown, Nick Reiner made his first court appearance, now charged with murder after his parents, Rob and Michele, were found stabbed to death this weekend.
And how would you describe Nick Reiner?
Nick is now represented by defense attorney Alan Jackson. After Reiner's arraignment was pushed back to January, Jackson spoke outside the courthouse.
There are very, very complex and serious issues that are associated with this case. Those need to be thoroughly but very carefully dealt with and examined.
Legal analyst Royal Oak says asking for a delay on the arraignment is a strategic move for Jackson, who also defended Kevin Spacey and Harvey Weinstein.
By putting off the arraignment until January 7th, he can figure out, what do I say about Nick Reiner's mental state? Was it insanity? Was it drugs or alcohol? Because he's got to launch something along those lines, because that probably is going to be the nuclear core of his defense.
This morning's court appearance comes after several days of developments. On Saturday, Nick Reiner and his parents attended Conan O'Brien's holiday party, and sources told NBC News Nick's behavior made guests feel uneasy. On Sunday afternoon, Rob and Michele's bodies were discovered in their Brentwood home, and by Sunday night, Nick was arrested near USC. New surveillance video shows him walking around and buying a drink in a gas station. Police arrested him shortly after he left. Nick Reiner has spoken publicly about his long history with drug use. His defense attorney is asking the public not to rush to judgment.
We ask that during this process you allow the system to move forward in the way that it was designed to move forward, not with a rush to judgment, not with jumping to conclusions, but with restraint and with dignity and with the respect that this system and this process deserves and that the family deserves. This is a devastating tragedy that has befallen the Reiner family. We all recognize that. Our hearts go out to the entire Reiner family.
Nick's siblings and other family were not in the courtroom today. With his arraignment pushed back to January, Nick will remain in jail, held with no bail. Reporting live, I'm Alex Rozier, NBC4 News.
Alex, thank you. And we want to take a closer look at that surveillance video Alex mentioned. Just after 9 Sunday night, Nick Reiner walked into the AM/PM gas station on Vermont and Exposition Boulevard. He briefly wandered around the store before buying a drink and then walking out. Police say this was just hours after he had killed his parents.
I was actually walking in, so he was walking out, when he passed by, I guess. I didn't know who he was. I just thought he was just like a regular customer.
After leaving the store, Nick walked across the street where he was stopped and arrested by police.
We continue our coverage right now live outside the home of Rob and Michele Reiner in Brentwood.
And that's where we find our Camilla Rambaldi. Camilla, describe the scene for us now.
Yeah, Carolyn and Colleen, the private security here remains present. It's been here all day long, just outside of the home and on the street. And right now you can also see a small growing memorial here. People have been coming by to drop off some flowers and candles just outside of this gate. And I did speak with some neighbors and a few people who work nearby. No one was willing to go on camera. They told me The shock and sadness is heavily being felt in this neighborhood. I also spoke with one man who says he used to work with Rob and Michele Reiner. He came by earlier this afternoon to drop off flowers, and here is how he described them.
Generous, kind, funny. They would just give their time to anybody. And it wasn't an act. It was just complete generosity. Yeah, just anyone who would talk to them, they would just talk to. And it was just real. And they would spend hours talking to people.
And for the first time, we're also hearing from the siblings of Nick Reiner today, Jake and Romy. They released a joint statement earlier today, and it reads, "Words cannot even begin to describe the unimaginable pain we are experiencing every moment of the day. The horrific and devastating loss of our parents, Rob and Michele Reiner, is something that no one should ever experience. They weren't just our parents, they were our best friends. We are grateful for the outpouring of condolences, kindness, and support we have received, not only from family and friends, but people from all walks of life. We now ask for respect and privacy, for speculation to be tempered with compassion and humanity, and for our parents to be remembered for the incredible lives they lived and the love they gave," end quote. And several of Rob and Michele Reiner's closest friends also released a statement to the Associated Press. It was signed by Billy Crystal, Larry David, and Martin Short, to name a few. And it reads in part, "Rob was also a passionate, brave citizen who not only cared for this country he loved, he did everything he could to make it better. And with his loving wife, Michele, he had the perfect partner, strong and determined. Michele and Rob Reiner devoted a great deal of their lives for the betterment of our fellow citizens. They were a special force together, dynamic, unselfish, and inspiring. We were their friends, and we will miss them forever." Again, back out here live, there's been this growing memorial here. Again, people have been coming by to drop off flowers, but again, certainly people feeling that shock and sadness throughout this neighborhood. And so far, no visible LAPD presence that we have seen here this afternoon. For now, we're live in Brentwood. Camilla Rambaldi, NBC 4 News.
Camilla, thank you for that. Our coverage of the murders of Rob Reiner and his wife Michele continues on NBCLA.com and on our NBCLA app. You'll also get breaking updates on the case. Swipe through a gallery showing some of the highlights of Reiner's career, and you can also watch tributes from Hollywood and beyond.